Joyce wants to know.
It's always nice and balmy up here.
Hawkers and peddlers, if she can be excused to go back downstairs. She has a 4:30 flight in the morning, so she wants to get a couple things done before she goes home. I told her I'd mention it to you.
That's when we need her the most.
Where, when we start that?
Yeah. Why wouldn't we?
What is she going to contribute if she hasn't already?
Whatever.
Yep. You're on, Pat.
Great. All right, we will open this meeting of July 18th, 2013, time being 3:30. Let the record show that all selectmen are present. Our first up on the agenda is Jim from the Pines Community Center. Give us an update, so come on up. Oh, yeah.
Is this up or is
Up, this is up.
this is up?
No, this is up.
Is it camera on?
Camera's on, yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Yes.
That's for sure.
104 kids that are very warm, and staff that's
You have air conditioning over there?
we do inside, but
Yeah.
keeping indoors is not the funnest thing in the world.
Right.
Do you have the ability over there to create a little chill center for
We do.
elderly and needy?
Yeah, we do that. And we've got the fire department coming over tomorrow to really get them wet.
Nice.
Break down, so. And they're watching movies at the hottest part of the
So if we see children flying up over here,
Happens.
A little bit too much pressure.
that'll be fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I had a chance to talk to Selectman Dawson a couple of weeks ago, and she recommended that I come over every once in a while and show my face and
Update us. Yeah, that's,
I'll let you all know what's going on, some of
Yep.
the highlights and maybe a couple of lowlights if you have those too, but and then get ready, obviously, for what's coming in the fall. And see if I can't answer any questions, or at least get some information going and proceed with some other directions also.
Now tell me
Open up
about
the lines of communication a little bit more.
your programs, how they're going, what you're offering, what the results are.
Get you to talk in the mic, please,
Oh, I'm
so Catherine can hear you.
I am.
Jim Doan, Executive Director of the Pines Community Center. Yeah, we're in the middle of summer, obviously, and our camp is full, which we saw last year. So that's great. I mean, our summer programs are our busiest time of the year, and we're full most of the way around. Our teen camp and adventure camps are our most popular teen programs, and once again, we've got super programs lined up for them, and we've got counselors in training, which we have a lot of teens that are participating this year again. So the programs themselves are going really well. The unfortunate part, on one hand, and also to look at it another way, is we have a lot more requests for assistance than we have in the past in all our programs, but mostly in the summer camp itself. So the word has gotten out, which is good, and we're serving the population that we originally, 30 years ago, whenever, are supposed to be serving, which is the positive. On the tough side of that equation is obviously the income side of the equation is down considerably compared to previous years because of that. So just to give you an idea real quick, because I know I don't want to keep on this subject too long, but we're now at about a third of all our summer participants are on some kind of scholarships, whether they're full boat or half or whatever, it depends. And it's affecting now about 30 or so families. So we're up there. And so far we've been able to meet that demand. If it continues in the future at this pace, it's going to be a little bit harder to do. So I'm a little concerned about the next couple of years if it continues to go at the percentage that it's going at. So that's kind of the only glitch in the system that I've got to rectify.
What is the criteria for getting into an assistance situation over there? Is it income-based? You have,
Well,
who does the
great
check?
question. Up until now, it's been to the level where I sit down with each and every family, and we go through a process of an application, and then I call them in the office. We go through a bunch of question and answers, especially if I don't know them, and it gives me a feel of exactly where they are, and then we negotiate basically what kind of award they get, or their children, or whatever. So it's kind of informal, but not really. I meet with everybody. The people that come back the next year, I will either do it on the phone or bring them in real quick and say, all right, what's going on? How can what do I need to do to help you out? But in the future, I don't see that system working, so we're going to eventually have to meet with the council and come up with something a little bit more formal than just me.
Especially if it's a third of your clientele.
Exactly.
What's the percentage of the Tilton
Right now,
residents using the facility in general?
in general, I'll just go summer just because it's fresh on my mind, but it's 50-50 right now. In fact, it's almost exactly split with the
Really?
summer program.
They would have a lot more children in Northfield, right? I mean, just as a percentage of...
You would think so, but I looked at the numbers because I kind of thought that might come up. It's right down the line with 4 non-residents. So you got, 49, and 2% non-residents, which is good. I mean, it's the first time that we've gotten there in the summer. And then on the other hand, which kind of makes me a little nervous down the road again, is the amount of aid that's going out to both communities. We can't sustain it, even though my fundraising is up $2,000 compared to this point, 6 months. Last year to this year, we're up with our fundraising. We can't keep that pace up of it.
Do you have to raise your fees for your classes? So like archery and things like that?
We've raised some of the fees throughout the calendar year, not just the summer, by small amounts, $5, $10 over the last year and a half.
Did any drop because of the fees being increased?
No, we haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Obviously, your before and after school programs, your summer programs, really large ones that aren't instructor-based, we haven't seen a drop at all. In fact, we've got waiting lists, so we're kind of, I don't think
You actually have waiting lists for the summer camps?
right now, we're taking everybody, which we're 4 over our max. So we'll take 100 a week, and right now we're at 104. So we haven't really established one for the summer camp, but we'll see that happen.
How do you determine what your max is? What the building can take, or
What we can handle staff and budget.
staffing-wise? Okay. So if at some point you were able to increase staff, you were able to increase the volume in the summertime for, if you were able to increase temporary summer help, you could possibly increase summer camp.
We could, and we staff it according to the
Budget.
level of registrations. So
Right.
right now, we're staying right around that mark, which is about what we
Yep.
So the budget's a big factor.
budget, yes. It really is. And one of the other things that maybe down the road would be things to look at would be, we get quarterly payments, and this is another thing to discuss sometime. Our most, how do I put this? We spend most of our money, or should I say the highest percentage, in the months of June, July, and half of August. So you're looking at a period of about 10 weeks where we'll spend $75,000. And if you look at how we get money from both towns quarterly, it doesn't make sense. So what would make a whole lot more sense due to our expenditures would be like maybe a payment in March, get 2 in July, and then 1 in the fall. Something to consider. It would make my life easier because now I don't have to go through that shuffling game all the time. Because our regular months range between $16,000 and maybe $20,000 a month is our expenses. And then we hit June, July, and August, and that's when, it jumps to $30,000, $35,000. So maybe something to look at, that would help that out.
I think if we could forecast that it might be workable, but that's also the time when we're squeaking by and not going out and getting a tan because of just before taxes are due. It's that month, and then that's June. So that's typically when we say, when we're really pinching pennies and praying.
Tight on our budget.
Huh?
We're tight on our budget that time.
Yeah.
Well, that's typically when we are, but if we forecasted that amount ahead of time, that's when we're gonna be doing it.
And if we pay it in July, we should have
July and
recovered
August,
somewhat.
we would be okay, because then taxes are coming in. Not June and July, but July and August we could do it.
Well, usually by the end of June, because this year they would do, what, July 7th?
July
Yes.
8th, yeah.
Yeah, so usually by the end of June, 2 weeks or a week before they're due, we
Yep.
usually, people start coming up.
Scramble,
What is the cost of a student to go to summer camp?
$5 a week.
How many weeks is that typically?
We run, depending on the summer, this summer is 8 weeks.
Okay.
Last year was 9. Kind of fluctuates depending on when school gets out and gets going.
Right.
again. And then we have to schedule a week of cleaning afterwards, so it's kind of different from year to year, but
Do you pull in extra staff just for summer?
yes. We go from basically 5 people, 6 people.
How many families usually go the full distance of your program?
Out of the 8 weeks,
Yeah.
I would say probably 2/3 will do the whole thing.
Wow, that's pretty good.
During summer camp, what kind of activities do you do?
Well,
Just a,
every week has got a different theme, so
oh, okay.
you may have a water theme one week. This week they're doing a bunch of projects or whatever. We have, every week is so crazy. And then, I don't want to go on and on again, but every day inside of that week has another theme to it, so they have structured activities, from the time they get there to the time that they leave that follow the theme today. So each week they go, they see something different. It's not the same camps repeated for 8
Right.
straight weeks, which is why it's such a, as far as I go, one of the best around.
Sounds like a good thing for the children involved.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does. They do any woodworking classes or anything like that?
We don't currently do any woodworking.
Or craft classes?
Lots of crafts. In fact, we hire...
Putting kits together and things
Yeah,
like that?
We hire some crafts instructor, and that's all she does, great weeks. They do a lot of neat stuff.
Yep.
All right.
I was just looking up your website, and it came to the Facebook thing, which I don't.
Is Facebook up and running? That was a big thing.
It is. That's really going well. The other thing that's going well that finally took off is our online registrations. We've done about,
very
last
good.
time I looked at it, it was around $7,500 came in on online registrations. So that took a while for people to get used to. And
Right.
Oh, there it is.
like anything else,
Right.
but it's so much easier. You don't have to leave, and it's right there. So our fall stuff's just going up now.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
That worked out well.
for everybody
kinda-
concerned, I'm sure.
It wasn't fun to transition.
Is there a summer camp brochure online?
There is not a summer camp brochure on it.
Is there something that describes it?
If you go to the main page, okay,
Yeah.
it'll direct you to the registration page, which is our
Downloadable forms? Doesn't say,
It says, welcome.
oh, registration.
A registration.
Go there, then it'll bring you into that whole side of the...
Register for activities?
And the other thing is, people will establish an account, and they can see where they are and what's coming up and what classes are open, closed, and all that.
Right.
Summer camp.
Pretty neat.
We're getting there.
You signing up?
No. I was just hoping it would tell me. So,
Oh, step 2 of 5, step 1 of 5. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
That's a lot of information. Wow. No gray areas there, that's nice.
Couple of real quickies, and then do I have enough time? Just a
Sure,
couple?
sure, sure.
One of the things we just did, and I think it's going to pay dividends in the long run, is we're redoing that whole upper left-hand section of the building, which is where Head Start used to be. Got a new, well, the ceiling has been, I should say, mostly repaired, painted, new floor was just put in. We're going to trim the walls in the office areas, and that should be done in about 2 weeks. So that's been a project that has been a long time coming, because that took most of the abuse when the roof was leaking years ago.
Right.
And we're kind of hoping one of two things happen. One is either the kindergarten program will be housed there when we get that thing finally up and running, or if that doesn't happen in that room, what we're going to end up doing is we're making a big push to rent it. Because when we lost Head Start, we lost about $13,000 worth of income. And with that room being now very usable, very friendly, so we'll see where that goes in the fall.
That big open room where,
It's our largest room upstairs,
okay,
next to
I know
the,
which one you, next to the kitchen.
next to the kitchen that,
Yeah.
which it needed that facelift. See, so if you
People
know
are looking for
anybody that's
rentals.
Looking for space.
Yep.
It's got office space, 2 bathrooms. You got use of the kitchen right next to it. and closet space. We'll see what happens, but I'm kind of hoping to rent it. If it doesn't rent, we'll do something different.
Well, there seems to be enough people around, though, that are looking for rentals. You know, so you may not have any trouble at all. So, you know, we get calls here at the town hall. Do you know of any spaces that are available?
Yeah, we often get those.
Yeah.
We often, sometimes we rent the senior center once in a blue moon
Yep.
for
An event.
an event, you know, baby shower, or, you know, 60 people or something like that, and they're looking to do that.
And we've had, you know, the same, well, you get the calls for one nights or something like that, but I know even in the land use office, they get calls for people who are looking, they're talking about coming into the area, you know, but they want to rent first to see, you know, if they're going to market well.
Right.
And, you know, they're looking for a place and want to know if we can recommend anybody.
That would be good.
So, you know, we do get those kind of calls, so, and we try and help them out as far as the square footage they're looking for, you know, and just give them connections, but whether or not it goes anywhere is between them and the owners, so, but it does happen, so, and that hasn't stopped. In fact, if anything, I think it's gotten to where there's more looking to rent now because they don't want to, you know, purchase property right away. So they're out looking for rentals. So it might be that you have
would
no
be a
problem at
win-win.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you just gotta get the word out there, that, you know, and advertise it. But anyway, it
We
was,
used to get the newsletter. I don't see I get the newsletter any longer. And,
we get in the emails.
I would hope,
Yeah,
please
no,
let me know if it's not happening again, but I would hope, because I see Karen when she does it, she usually
Yeah.
emails everybody.
yeah, no,
I'm hoping
particularly-
that's still the case.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get an email,
You get it?
yeah.
I haven't seen it in quite a while. I'll have to look.
Just got it recently. Yeah.
Paul should-
Would the newsletter have things like, oh, we're gonna, you know, paint the big hall, you know, we're renovating the hall and we need some help? Would the newsletter say that?
It wouldn't, unless I'm going to go that route to get the volunteers. But right now, one of the aspects of our assistance program is it will be required when I give you the assistance, if I need you to volunteer at the Pines Community Center, and it's signed and dated. And my volunteers, not only from the people and contacts I know, come from our assistants' parents. So let's say I needed a room painted,
Yeah.
go down my list of whatever, 35 people, and I just make some phone calls and I say, need 3 or 4 people because we're going to do such and such.
I see.
And that's how we're going to paint this room.
So you go to them first, and if you don't
I go
get
right to them
anybody,
first.
then you can,
Then I can either put it on our website, or I can newspaper it, or do that in the newsletter.
Right.
Does that work out pretty good?
It
Calling the
does.
list? Yeah.
For things that are, that I don't need really, highly skilled
Right. Yeah.
or dangerous ones. Which
yeah, I would never volunteer for
never
that.
Put somebody in those situations, so.
I mean, like shingling a roof today or tomorrow.
There is some talent here at the table. I don't know, I wouldn't mind volunteering for something like that. Sure, I would. I can throw a paintbrush here and there and
Put your name on a list.
put, if I'm available, I'd be more than happy to help.
Just one more cookie, and I'll
Yep.
leave you all alone.
Okay.
We've got a meeting coming up in August, and one of the things that, well, there's a couple of interesting items on the agenda, but one of the things I want on there, Catherine and I talked about this, is we're going to take a look at our teen populations in both towns. And we're going to try and do more starting this fall. And we're going to come up with whatever proposals we can the second Monday of August, and that's going to be a major focus of that meeting. So we'll see whether we can't make some headway. And I'll let you know what the results are.
Yeah,
Boy, would I like that.
Together.
yeah, communicate with the two towns. I mean, I'm sure that the Board of Selectmen here will help
Oh,
you in promoting
in
it,
any
and
way.
getting the word out. And
That's what we're going to need. And the other thing, if you know anybody or any families in Tilton that maybe have some ideas, have them call me.
boy,
Or
do
if you
I
see
know
some
some
kids,
teens.
if you know some teens or
I know some teens.
We know some teens that need to get off the street.
You
Right.
know where they spend a lot of time is in
Main Street on
far corners of
skateboards.
Riverfront Park and across the river.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody needs to put a sign up and telling if you're in Riverfront Park, they can watch the activities across the river. But, yeah, there's a desperate need to
Yeah, there is.
get them into something productive.
Something.
Send them my way, because their input's going to be very important down the road, whether
Right.
anything's successful or not, so.
That would be great. Yeah,
Very good.
you know a lot of people in that area because you have teenagers and coming up. Good.
Thank you all for taking the time to listen to me.
welcome.
Thank you for coming in.
Anytime you'd like. Feel free.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions
I
or am I good?
appreciate the update.
No, really, we do.
Good.
If we can help in any way, let us know.
Oh,
Yep.
I already
We'll be
called
there.
you for that paintbrush offer, so.
I will. I won't volunteer unless I really mean it. And I will volunteer. I mean, I think it was Joyce that got me roped in over there to the school with some, it was Kevin LaChapelle and me. We built, I don't know how many bird feeder kits over to, is it Union Sanborn School? We brought them over, and all these kids came from everywhere, and we had to help them put them together.
Right.
You sure it wasn't you that got me roped into that?
It's an interesting idea, getting local contractors to go over.
Well, that's what I asked. I mean, Kevin and I, we spent a couple of days cutting them all out and making a kit out of it, and then we took it to wherever it needed to go, and then they put them together. So, I mean, I didn't mind offering my time to do that, or the wood. So, I mean, I love to do that. Not on a day like today, but I love to do that. So, if there's something in that area, I'm all over it.
Great. Thanks again.
Thank you, I
for coming
appreciate
in.
it.
Yes.
Thank you.
We had no trouble hearing Jim, but we can't hear Catherine.
Well, yeah, well, look, hers is up to the sky.
And
Yeah.
if it-
How about that?
Well, I hit it.
If you're
Chip it
I
out.
hit it.
looking towards us, we can hear you. Joe's no problem. Sandy's no problem, but Catherine, we couldn't hear at all. You'd be caught right here.
You can hear me?
If you're talking to us, but
Hello?
You hear me now?
Jim, we can hear fine. But I didn't hear hardly anything that happened.
Okay, we'll continue on, now that you can hear us. Okay. We have the approval of minutes of 6:27 and 7:3.
I move the minutes of June 27th to the floor for discussion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. I believe Jim Dones has an E on the end of his last name.
Fix it.
Page 2, third line down. Starts in the second, formal meeting. Several calls. Mr. Burton has received many calls regarding several accidents. Silver Lake Road. I would delete many calls and add on after accidents.
Right.
I just sent this.
On page 3, can we spell out the Northfield Tilton? Everybody sees TN and they automatically associate it with Tilton Northfield, but when they see NT, people are going to say,
Wonder what it is,
what
right?
is that? Love it. Okay.
Read it out.
All right, went down and read his.
Last one.
It doesn't interpret it as selectmen versus
I
something
knew it
different.
last night.
All right, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of June 27th as corrected.
Second?
Any discussion further? All those in favor?
Aye. I have a question, but can wait until we finish the other minutes.
All right, go ahead.
In the minutes of July 3rd, 2013, to the floor for discussion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
I read these, I didn't see anything wrong with them.
This is not a correction, but are we doing anything on, with the arborists? Did they do anything on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yup. Oh, yep, have. Yes, they have. They have sent out requests for proposals on the trees. They've included, as they have in years past, the island, Main Street, and all the parks, and then the island and Main Street will be
Yep.
separate from the others, so they can be disseminated out.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of July 3rd, 2013 as written.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
I just wanted to find out On the, Mr. Merrill was going to contact Mr. Bartlett. Have we heard whether or not he got to talk to him?
I
don't know.
I can fill you in on that.
Have you heard anything?
Well, the rest of the board doesn't have a, Mr., was it Bartlett on Winter Street, you mean? Is that the
Yes.
one we're talking
Yeah,
about?
Yep.
Right, and that,
So Mark, Catherine called Mark Morrell, and then Mark had a question, and she called me back. And I called Mark back and talked to him and gave him a little bit of the history about how it came about that Mr. Bartlett called us. And he didn't have any record whatsoever of the, Mr. Bartlett talking with the state, and felt that perhaps maybe someone down in Concord was giving him the wrong information. So he was going to get with Dennis, and he did call Dennis and talk with Dennis, and that he and Dennis were going over there and talk with Mr. Bartlett. And he did call Mr. Bartlett, but I don't know that there's a date and time set.
Okay,
So that is moving forward.
hearing with Councilor Burton,
right.
we gave Mark two numbers, Bob Hardy's and that gentleman. And
Yeah.
then the next morning, and he said he would call him. He was going to be in Wolfboro that day, but he promised to come back to town and call him.
Right.
And the next morning, when Dennis stopped in, he said, yeah, this is Mark trying to get something done. And Dennis said he would go with Mark. And I didn't know myself, just to follow up with Dennis and find out.
It was supposed to happen last week because Mark's going to be on vacation for 2 weeks, for Mark and Dennis just to go and see what the issues were, not to talk with Mr. Bartlett. And when he came back, he was going to talk with Mr. Bartlett and set up an appointment for when he came back from vacation so that he knows he's working on it.
Right.
But before that, he was going to ride out there with Dennis and look at the problem.
I'll find out if,
Because Mark is definitely on vacation.
Yep. Why, did you see him on the lake, having a few beers or something?
Talk to him.
All right. Okay, so, no public.
Where is it?
We're moving
Oh,
right
you hear
along,
the
good. We have a
crickets
5 o'clock, we have a 5 o'clock
Somewhere.
non-public for one of the residents, and that works nicely into our little thing. So let's have Joyce.
Joyce. Come on down, Joyce. Join us.
God, we're early, Al.
That's what I'm talking about.
15 minutes before the agenda.
I'm talking. Now we need to get her
Look
talking.
at this pile.
By 9:30, we should be out of here.
No. Make me happy, Joyce.
Well, I will.
Keep me smiling.
And I was going to ask the board, ask Pat, if I have to leave tomorrow morning at like 4:15. When you get to the portion of your meeting where you're doing hawkers and peddlers, that's on your agenda tonight?
That's only taking very long. Is that mic working?
That's going to take 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, I was going to ask if I could,
Yeah.
I was going to ask if I could just work downstairs and if you needed me for anything, because I want to get some things done before I leave tomorrow morning.
We don't. What do you think? Anybody?
For me.
We can, yeah, as soon as you give your report, if you want to go down, you can head down.
And I already gave my 2 cents to Sandy, so if it comes up
To Cindy?
to Sandy.
Oh, I was going to say that should have been 5 cents.
Her paying you.
It is hot up here. We should have met downstairs.
Okay, let's
Get my
go.
email this
I
morning?
did. I
Oh.
replied to it. I said, yes, please.
Oh, well, you must have sent it to my home. If you just hit reply, it went home.
I just hit reply.
I'm sorry.
9 o'clock at the latest.
Bite your tongue.
This is disgusting.
This is all stuff from Lauren today.
Can't go to Ashland ever again?
This is hawkers and peddlers. Did you get my email about the gentleman that pulled into the Northway Bank parking lot about the flagpole?
No,
Nope.
Yes, I did.
I
I
didn't
didn't
see
get
it.
it.
I didn't
I
see
didn't
it,
look
but
today.
But
How did
I-
everyone
I mean,
recognize
last,
the second one? I didn't get it.
when it was raining and oh my God. yeah,
Oh,
that was
yes,
like-
yes, I did.
It was,
That was very sad.
I deleted.
it was.
Yay for that man.
Yeah, it
Yay for
was
that
very
man.
nice to hear that one of our state police is,
Yeah,
still governed by those values, because
Yep.
so many of
Would
our
you
young
like to
people
explain it to those of
are
us?
not.
You want me to
Yeah.
read it to you?
Oh, sure.
You'll cry.
yeah.
I doubt it.
You didn't get the
It's
email?
very sad.
I didn't notice it.
It went to Board of Selectmen. Dear Miss Joyce Fullweiler, on Friday evening about a month ago, I was on my way to the New Hampshire Veterans Home. I visit there on Friday nights to read the Bible to anyone who would like it read. This particular evening, I was early, so I stopped in the parking lot on Main Street where the ATM machine is, across the street from the pizza restaurant. I backed into a parking space along the edge of the lot. It was raining. As I was sitting there, I happened to look in my passenger side rearview mirror. I saw a tattered American flag hanging upside down. I got out to look and noticed a flagpole amongst some bushes. The halyard had broken and the old flag was just inches off the ground. Not knowing exactly what to do, I phoned the local police dispatcher. She said she would send someone over. Only minutes later, as I was sitting in my car, I saw a state police vehicle pull into the lot. An officer got out and put on his raincoat and cap. I too got out and asked him if he was looking for the tattered flag. He said he was. I pointed to it and got back in my car out of the rain. Then I thought, maybe I could be of some help. I got out again in the drizzle, stood up, and in silence looked back over my car. There was the officer alone, at attention, saluting, and then respectfully, silently approaching and removing the flag. He turned and said he would take care of it, and somehow I know it was properly cared for and disposed of. The picture and thought of that event has stayed with me. I've watched that pole over the past few weeks, each Friday night thinking I might see a new flag flying, but none yet. So I had a thought. I would be willing to pay for a new flag and halyard, and maybe some Boy Scout or civic group could make a project out of cleaning up around the pole, maybe even painting it, lighting it, and seeing to a flag being raised again. I don't even know whose flagpole it is. If it's the town's, maybe you could get involved to help this along. I will understand whatever decision you make, and please forgive me if something is already in the works. Please let me know if I can be of any help. I certainly would be willing to make a few calls if appropriate. Very sincerely, Peter W. Howard, Guilford, New Hampshire. Isn't that touching?
Whose flagpole was it?
Well, because
Banks,
the bank, Northway Bank.
property owner.
So I got in touch with Northway Bank, and Barbara Lawler is the new branch manager there. She's been there about 3 weeks. Welcomed her to town. Stop in the town hall. We'd love to meet you. And I said, I'm going to forward you an email. I said, it's our understanding that this is bank property. And she said she would, go ahead and send it, and that she would find out what she could do to take care of it. And then she emailed me back to let me know that she got it. This all happened, what day was this, Monday? And I didn't get a chance to call her yet today to see where she was with that.
Nobody got the state trooper's name?
No. I could call Mr. Howard.
We could call dispatch and get it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And, I copied Mr. Howard on my communications to the bank, so he knows that we at least did something. So that's one of those, rare moments of
Yeah.
this job that you appreciate.
Yep, it is.
All right,
Makes you proud.
I will contact the bank, and I'll see if I can get the name of the trooper. Okay. Last Friday, you probably want to do it under your selectmen's reports, but Sandy helped me put together the flyer for Main Street. She went up and down. Kudos. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have been there, done that. As have you. And then I
Flyers for, so
Recycling,
recycling.
just giving information,
This was a notice to the property owners, businesses, and the residents on Main Street. And Main Street is from railroad track to railroad track. Just letting them know that the recycling program, that their bins are being delivered, and that they'll be getting more information soon as to when pay-as-you-throw starts. And that also letting them know that there was on August 1st, we're having a public informational meeting, invite all residents to attend, but hope that Main Street people get here, just so that the board can get some feedback from them, comments, questions. The board will provide answers on recycling and pay-as-you-throw, and everyone is welcome, and let them know where we're at with that. I also included another little sticker, because I went to my Main Street address, email address folder. I only had one in there. So I put another little sticker, I mailed the letters to the out-of-town property owners. I believe there were 21 altogether.
Really? That many? I didn't realize that.
Because then I had highlighted to make sure, because it's the landlords are responsible for their tenants.
Yeah.
To give them the information.
Yep. And I also included information on changing the schedule, the time for putting it out.
Yes,
for
that
Main
was also in
yeah.
there, yep.
And that the pickup time is being changed from 8:30 to between 6:30 and 7 in the morning. And then I also just did a little label I stuck up top and said, please send me your email address if you want to have up-to-the-minute updates
Yep.
and information.
Have you been getting them?
No, I haven't gotten one. But nothing, no envelopes have come back yet.
Right. But anyway, I did get them delivered, and on doors where I couldn't get to mailboxes, I used tape, and taped them onto the doors or onto the front of the mailboxes so that I couldn't be accused of putting it in. And there's a few buildings that you can't even get in the front door without a key, so I just taped them all over their front door, just so that they would have them. And and I did talk to a lot of people. They had questions, and I pointed out in the letter, we went over different things, and one guy said I didn't get a bin, so I showed him the phone number to call, where it tells if you don't get one, call this number. And one guy didn't want his bin. He said, I don't have anything to recycle, and I said, call the same number. We're talking about the guy down there with nails, Paris nails.
He has nothing to recycle?
He says he has nothing. He has a little cotton balls and paper, but it's all got, stuff on it that goes into trash, regular trash. He wouldn't be recyclable.
Doesn't get any deliveries and cardboard, wow, that's amazing.
He says they recycle all the time at home, and he only has one little bag a week here.
And he
with
brings it
just-
up there.
Oh.
He lives over here.
Yeah, so, anyway, I gave him the same number. I said, call him and tell him you don't want the bin, and they'll come and get it. But I said, are you sure it's for you? Maybe it's for the people who live upstairs. And I said, so, you need to find out. But anyway, everybody was quite accommodating. I didn't really, they all had questions. I answered the questions. I told them about the meeting, and, I asked them, I said, please, if you decide you have questions, comments, suggestions, anything, come on the first and, we'll talk about it.
Oh, you did tell him.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
So, anyway, it went well, and hopefully I didn't forget anyone. I think I pretty much, if I couldn't get in, I stuck it to the doors, so I would think that it would be hard pressed for anyone to say they didn't know about it this time, so.
Thank you so much for doing that.
I also sent a press release to the Monitor, the Echo, and the
Sun.
And the Sun. The Echo you already spoke to, and I gave Pat's number and your phone number,
your
since you
refrigerator?
two are the easiest to reach at bizarro hours. To call you, so
I love it when you call me.
To who?
Michael Kitch, Donna Rhodes.
I'd already got a call from Michael Kitch.
Oh, you did, and,
Already got a call from Donna Rhodes.
okay, and Anne Marie Timmons?
No.
Okay.
She is still with the Monitor?
Yeah.
I think she was brand new when I first became a selectman.
And then, I'm just following up, did anybody respond to those from last week? Those were still in the
Yes,
folder.
somebody responded to Belanger's,
I didn't respond to the diaper lady. I thought Beth said better of it.
Well, when-
about the one that said July 8th recycling pickup was canceled.
No.
Anybody respond to that?
I don't know, I'd have to look.
Please.
Well, what I would ask
I'd
is
have
that,
to look at my thing.
as,
I thought you did.
as Pat had said last week, when these come in, that if you do respond, that you copy the full board, so we know.
Reply all.
I've responded to a
Yes, you
few.
have.
And then
I
I
send them out.
include Catherine and I. Catherine,
I-
include us, because we.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
wanna
Did you
be
see
in
what I included when I replied all to Jeannie Forrester, and I included your name?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And that's something I'm going to do.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we need to reply also, we know who's responded back to them, because the questions are starting to come in, not only recycling, but our infamous hawkers and peddlers.
Okay, so on these two, the answers, no one did respond.
I did not, I responded to say we were going to talk about it to the person that has the 7-month-old, and then I would get back to her. I will respond to her,
Okay.
unless you want to respond to her and say, we're going to have the August 1st meeting,
Okay.
and that would be a great time to come and
Okay.
discuss it.
I responded to Battery.
The battery one?
Her husband knows. Lady's husband.
But at least that way we know,
Landry, you
that
did?
way we'll learn new things too.
Right.
So when we get the same question, we'll have the same answer.
Just subjects, Boolanders.
Is that what would show up here?
Yes, that's what it would show up right here.
I don't send these off. Ever since I discovered I was sending them to Bradford, so
Sending them to where?
Bradford,
Well, we
Bradford.
can,
instead of Board of Selectmen.
Tim can show you how to make sure it's Tilton Board of Selectmen.
Right.
it's one of the reasons I don't do Facebook. I don't know. Governor.
And then Catherine did, after the meeting last week on Friday, she contacted the outlet vendor to let her know.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know if you knew
Just,
that.
Yes.
Okay. It's assessing stuff.
Everybody's still smiling.
Okay. On Tuesday, July 23rd, New Hampshire DOT is having a mandatory meeting for the Winnipesaukee River Trail project, and if I'll just read this. And also, Kim Coulette had called me from Lakes Region Planning Commission to let me know.
What did you say?
Tuesday, July 23rd.
July 23rd.
What's going on?
I'm going to read it. This is from Tom Jameson. He's the project manager for the bridge project, the pedestrian bridge project, that they have the contract with the town of Northfield to do the bridge construction and the trail construction. Dear Mr. Smith, as you may already be aware, the Transportation TE program was not renewed as part of the new federal transportation funding authorization known as MAP-21. As a result, Federal Highway has given a deadline of September 30th to obligate all remaining TE funds. So there is money, and they have to get it spent. They have to get it obligated. Any remaining TE funds will expire after this date. I have sent this to your attention as you are the designated person in responsible charge of the project referenced above. To ensure your project remains eligible for federal TE funds and to make sure all available TE funds are put to use before the September 30th deadline, the New Hampshire DOT has come up with some end-of-program requirements. These requirements will be explained in a mandatory meeting on Tuesday, July 23rd, room 114 at Department of Transportation's John O. Morton Building. The meeting will start at 1:30 and is expected to last about an hour. We realize this is short notice for this mandatory meeting, but due to the pending expiration of funds, this meeting needs to occur this month. If you can't attend the meeting, you must send a suitable representative from your organization. Please note that failure to attend this meeting will result in the cancellation of your project and removal of all federal funds. So Glenn did respond. He is going, and the trails people are going. So I said, well, Glenn, I said, we've got an interest in this too, because we've got our EPA grant that, this project is leveraged for, and, we're just waiting to hear from you. We're ready to go with where you
Right.
want to plant the bridge. And he said, yes, by all means. So I would like to go down for that on the 23rd.
Amen. Yes, please.
Okay.
So
bells.
that's at 1:30 on the 23rd?
Yes, I mean, it's a public meeting, you're all welcome to come down.
No, thank
And
you.
I told him I would sit in the back and not say anything. He says, no, you can sit in the front, but don't say anything.
Let them know Tilton's there. I
Let
think
'em
you
know
should
Tilton.
say something. Why is it,
They want to hear what I have to say.
Bring a Joe sign.
I'll tell you privately what I would say.
okay.
Yeah.
From Tilton.
From Tilton.
In your legal folder, there are some documents to look at, and these just came in, those go with it. So I just want to bring them to your attention. They don't need any action.
Okay.
That's that. I can go through tax deeding updates. I'll just give map and lot numbers. Want that? That way we don't have to go into non-public.
Okay.
Need one file. I need, it says tax. Okay, in your to-be-signed folder, there is a letter that you need to sign, which is authorizing Cindy to begin the re-leaning process on a property.
Okay.
R1027?
2725, correct. In the meantime, and this is good, so this gives us some time to meet with the individual, work something out.
Say that again, 30 days or 90?
30 days.
Okay.
Because we had given her a letter, don't give us a deed, and we said, give us a deed, she wants that in writing, so she sends out another notice that
Okay.
it's going to deed.
Okay.
In the meantime, I also got all the backup documentation that we should be getting normally.
Good.
And in there is a mortgage. Okay? Cindy called the mortgage company. And they are going to pay.
And which one?
It's our 10/27/25.
There's a mortgage?
Is that the one I'm thinking about?
Take it.
Let them pay it. No, I'm saying,
Not-
no, let them pay it.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Seriously.
Mobile home.
Yeah. And
Okay,
staff
good.
meeting yesterday.
I thought it was the Munster's
The
house.
discussion that came up about sewer liens and
Yep.
sewer
It's like the
bills not
Munsters.
being paid.
Right.
We wouldn't know that
I know.
until we get the information
Right.
that I just got. It's right on there.
Yep.
Well, hopefully that's a good lesson learned for somebody.
Yep.
Lights go off. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Now we know.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Can't get over there's a mortgage on that house.
Yeah.
So, still sign
Hallelujah,
the
as Joe
letter.
would say.
We get our
Still go
tax money,
forward,
that's-
but the way
better.
this
That's all we
is
were
happening
looking
right
for.
now is the way it should be
Yay.
with every single one of these.
Because we certainly don't want the
agree.
house.
No,
I
No.
agree.
And I thank Cindy profusely. I said, thank you so much for getting all this together. And I have that whole folder that I...
So, again, tell me why we didn't have that information when we got
Begin with.
this, before we got this, that there was a mortgage on that house.
Yeah.
Because the board decided to sign the letter. So the letter went to her. She didn't do anything. She just stopped doing it.
But before it goes to deed,
Before we're sitting here trying to decide whether to
Which
deed
ones to
it,
take or not.
right,
if we had that information,
that's right,
And I had asked for that.
we could make the contact first.
correct.
So,
So that when you're going to the
Right.
door, you've got more than just...
I think we need not to do anything unless we have all that information prior to that to make that
we
decision.
need to make an outline of the information the Board
we
of
need.
Selectmen requires.
You have,
That's right.
you have the
Yeah,
outline.
I thought we had the outline.
Before,
Have the outline. She
well, I've
has
got
the
one in
outline.
here.
No, it's in writing. I sent it to all the board.
Oh, did you,
Yep.
recently?
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yes, recently.
Yeah. So she
Week or
has
so
it
ago.
now.
Because, see, each week, as it gets closer and closer, you get updates.
Right.
And you have notes on, you pretty much know
Okay,
a
this
week
one, right.
before, yeah, we better
Yep.
go,
Yep. Yep. But it would be helpful if we had all the information when we go boom, boom, boom.
right, but,
That way we have things to,
and I appreciate that it's a lot of work to pull
Yeah.
together. So
Yeah.
just for the ones where we know that
But I'd rather
all
go
be
to the people.
there.
I would rather go to the people and knock on the door and have all that information and say, here we go, and avoid all this hassle hours that we've just spent, you have spent in Captain, have spent into, I spent a whole 3 days on
Yep.
that pile.
Yep,
Hey, I appreciate your job more and more and more.
yep.
So,
Trust me. Spending 2 days in that, 1 day in that office.
Yep.
Oh, boy, I bless you every day.
But I've started a file, and this is down with all the tax deed files. Catherine has them, because they usually see her when they're making their payments. So all the information's in here, but this is still considered pending. Okay, R11, 1110, you're meeting with this evening.
Yep.
R10, 25, 24 is in your non-public, so we'll need to talk about that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Hill Road is all taken care of.
Yep.
Both of the Windsor Drive ones, I'll have the agreement. Do you still have those files? Are they ready to sign them now? Yeah, we'll do that right now.
Here's our 10, 25, 24. Does anybody else want to read it?
Here, let me just see.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the actions which we have taken pretty much is going to recover all of our tax money. Over
Yes.
time, anyway.
Well, some of them,
Whereas before,
Some of them won't.
when which ones no?
ones we
We'll talk
chose,
about that in the non-public,
the
but
ones we
Two that we
chose,
abated.
the ones we chose not to deed.
Right.
Right,
I didn't, well, okay. But with the other ones, our action,
Yeah.
so certainly taking a look at the manufactured housing, the same way we do as every other building is a workable thing. Good, good.
It's proved out to be very workable, I think.
This is for your 5 o'clock appointment.
Okay.
The other thing that I'm doing that's new this year is all of the expense documentation. Just have to stand for a second. You know, I always kept it in a separate file, and then when I needed it, then I had to go run around and get it. I'm doing that concurrently right now with each. So when you open a file, all our expenses, so that we can keep a running tab. The cost of the insurance, the cost of recording the deeds. This is, we need to amend the date on this agreement. I don't know if you want to talk about this in non-public, or we can do it
Well,
now.
without using names, we can.
Yeah.
Or we can do it non-public. It's easier, right?
Which property? Or,
This is the one with the 2,000 payment plan.
yeah,
Did I talk to you about the 2,000?
we probably should discuss it non-public with the other.
Let me have that, though, so we can talk about it. We had a date incorrect, and if he had signed the contract, he would have been not good,
Immediately in default.
immediately in default. So
well,
we just
that-
want to change the date.
Good, 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 good.
Okay. This property, close this up. Has been satisfied, and I've attached a copy of the check, so we can go ahead and redeed that. And I also got the sewer bill, sent it to both parties and said, you better pay this. So,
or look at the house back.
3 years.
Yep.
Does it need to be in black? The deed?
Yeah, well, it should be.
the other one, so that's that one, okay, the other one is the vacant land. I did quite a bit of research, I mean, based on the information that's in the property record card file and the former deed descriptions and what we had, it's questionable as to exactly where that property is located.
Oh, this goes.
The second thing,
Exactly where the boundaries of
The
the property
boundaries are.
I mean, we know where it is, but the
Right.
boundaries are questionable.
right. So I would feel more comfortable knowing, let's go see where it is before we do anything. And then also, I have to find out if the daughter has power of attorney. I mean, I'll contact her anyway, but in terms of making any decisions on that, I would want some sort of documentation from her if she was going to be making decisions on it.
She would have to, by law, provide you with a power of attorney. She could not make decisions otherwise for the property owner.
So I haven't done, that's about all I did this week on that one, taking care of that. And then the only other one is, would be a non-public. I did meet with our legal counsel on that, and I can fill you in on that.
Okay.
But that's for tonight's meeting. Oh, that pertains to legal.
This quit claim deed we are signing?
Yes.
You're going to notify both property owners?
Yes.
Thank you.
The other thing I did is I checked with the Registry of Deeds because the address, the current property address is different from the address on the original deed. And it was pre 911 street numbering. So I asked the registry, what do you suggest I do? And they said to just, when I put the current address, put in parentheses, formally, the former address as 5 West Street. And then I also said the address of the owners on the original deed, they have different addresses now. And she said, put their current addresses. As long as you're referencing the same map and lot and the same address and the same names, but put the current addresses. So how do you want to handle that?
I like the others read it first. I say okay. I think it's,
As long as it's recoverable.
right. That's what I said. We did that on Beach Street.
Yeah. But that's the highest amount we pay
Right.
for any of our attorneys.
I still think it's okay because we did that last year with Beach Street.
Right.
We included the higher amount because that's the actual amount.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect sense.
And Catherine, I'll give you
We
that.
did that to Beach. on
I'll
Beach Street.
hand it right to you.
Yeah, and it should be, wherever it's recoverable.
Do you have anything? Oh, can I just see the to be signed folder quickly? I looked in that earlier. The green one.
That's the non-public. I got it.
I think there's just 2 things.
I hate lawyers.
Yes.
No, I hate lawyers.
I don't know, I was just repeating what you said.
Where in hell is it?
Mike Izzard had said after his presentation
building is
last
worth
week, and
this
when the
much.
board voted
The
to accept
feature
the
is worth that
recommendations in the
much.
Route
What's the
140
feature?
project, he would be sending you a
Shed
sign-up sheet,
is worth 10 times what the house is
acceptance
worth.
sheet that can be put in the document.
Okay,
I just need to have that signed.
okay.
What about this one?
They won't move into the shed.
He respectfully requests a hearing to be set to hear this abatement.
Right, I highlighted the dates. It's untimely filed. And I attached the BTLA decision, where the BTLA acknowledges that it was settled, but it wasn't signed.
Right.
Okay.
And and he had 15 days from the date of that BTLA decision to respond, and you count the days, and he missed the deadline. that's yours.
You have that?
I thought you had a question.
No, I haven't even been there yet.
Cool. And I still hate them.
Just,
It's so on the taking. We voted on last week.
So, we had 10 days, and I assume from the date of this order,
June 21st.
he kind of missed that, didn't he?
Yes.
did I oppose this?
He's not asking for a waiver of that 10 days in this.
No, that's why it's null and void.
Well, we are making an assumption. This went directly to Board Land and Tax Appeals, Tax and Land Appeals. And we have an attorney working on this, right? We don't. Thank God. So
No,
this is
we, as a rule, we don't with Board of Tax and Land Appeals, just the
assessors.
assessor.
All right.
If it's in Superior Court, we use an attorney.
So we're waiting now for a response from,
BTLA.
and I assume we'll have an opportunity to address it.
Right, and also, the letter that went to the BTLA explained the situation. But I need to check with Tim to see if he did catch the check yet. And Chief is here. I have the letter I sent to Tom Kavanaugh in there, but I didn't get a chance to check up with the chief yet, if he had any new information, so.
Is anyone available on (7/20) to do a Riverfront Park? They need keys too. It's a
I'll be gone all
party
day.
on the 20th, 11 to 4, 5 hours.
That's Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
I won't be here.
Yeah, I won't
To
be
do a
here
tour of
either.
Buffalo Park. There's a thing going on. That's why Bob is saying that they need to get one of the selectmen.
Tick hunting.
Great.
And there's another one is,
This heat wave,
the
there
other
should,
one's in August.
with this heat wave, there
the other's
shouldn't be
in
any.
August 10th, I think.
There should be all
I cannot
deep within
do the
leaf
20th.
balls.
I'm still out of
Yeah.
town.
That's
Anyone-
this coming Saturday.
That's this coming Saturday, correct?
Yes.
So Joe's out, Catherine's out,
I'll be out
I'm
of
out.
town.
What time's it at?
It's, the party is 11 to 4, but you gotta go before that. And they need a key.
Oh, they didn't pick up a key?
Picking up the key today or tomorrow, I have it up.
Okay.
Okay.
They're picking up a key.
So we don't
They'll
have,
have the key? I can.
you'll have the key?
I'll do it.
You can do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. Sandy's gonna do it.
Oh, this Saturday, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll get together with them Friday and then, because my kids are taking me out to dinner on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So, but
Sorry, my kids.
we're not going until 2, and then when we get done, then I can come back by. They should be done by then.
After then?
Yeah,
It's 4 o'clock, yeah.
yeah. So I'll get together with them either early Saturday or Friday.
This one on August 10th,
That's a ways away.
a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Do we want to keep this in here and
Yeah.
check on it
Yeah.
later?
Yes.
Okay.
we might forget.
And then there's August 31st, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Tom,
Joyce went
First
over a lot of
birthday
time.
party.
Oh, that's cute.
And they're going to stop and get the keys?
yes,
Okay.
it's an old one. Did everyone see this? This is our last air conditioner install.
I saw those.
I saw him
We want to
put
give them to Lowe's, so
In the office.
Catherine, is this your only copy? Do you need to?
Have that.
Okay.
Anyone need a copy of the cooling centers around the state because they, if they have family around, you might want to.
No, but we should make a list of those available in our immediate vicinity and put them on the website.
Yep.
Maybe in
Tilton
the key-
Senior
Jim
Center and the
indicated-
school. And
Jim indicated that they had something at the Pines, which we should review further.
Yep.
What about the kiosk?
We can put them, list them on the kiosk too. Hey, did you hear that, Joyce? Cooling centers
cooling
around
centers.
town locally. We should put them on the website, and as Al said, on the kiosk outside. And we should contact Jim and make certain we can include his. It sounded like they did, but it might have been a little informal.
Chief, this is a copy of the ones for the New Hampshire. Did I send you the copy of it? Email it? These are all the cooling centers. Winnisquam's not listed. I got this from Carol Curry.
Is Winnisquam available, or do we have to notify them
Yeah, I
to open?
Engaging New
It's
Hampshire.
on request.
Yeah.
Oh, Winnisquam's on request.
Where's the one in Winnisquam?
The school.
The school.
From high school? Which is Tilton.
Winnisquam High School, Tilton, yeah. all right.
to the high school, and what else? The senior center?
Senior Center.
Now, just during your open hours, or will you?
No,
open?
if need be, we'll
Open for emergencies.
open for emergencies as well. Yep.
Yeah. So the
Or
syn-
do you contact the police if, or you, or?
Contact,
After hours?
yep, either the police station or myself or Tom, anyone. on our-
Okay.
We can do that.
Saying for our residents, the Belmont Senior Center, there's nothing in Samerton, there is nothing in Northfield on this list, and there's nothing in Franklin on this list, and Laconia Senior Center is on this list, so
There's nothing in Northfield on that?
Northfield or Samerton is not
I thought
on
you
here.
just said they were on the list.
No. He-
Northfield usually comes,
that sounded informal.
Samerton comes to Tilton Senior Center.
Well, but you have the north side of town, which is closer to New Hampton,
And they go
and New
to
Hampton doesn't have anything, Meredith does,
Meredith, they go to Meredith.
so,
At the hall.
yeah.
104.
When you're talking about elderly, Meredith.
Meredith.
We're having a non-public at 5, right?
That's a hall.
Okay, so we have 20 minutes before our appointment comes, but do you want to go into non-public and clear up our non-publics first, and then we can just do our selectmen
do it
reports
out.
when we go out?
Bonus, let's do it up.
All right.
That way we can finish with whatever non-public Joyce has too. Take care of it.
Let's do our talking so we can do some walking.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
Not that it's cold up here or anything, but it's not.
Okay, I will make a motion to go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3C. That which is discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
We're back.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-pub as they pertain to
Everything.
residents and adversely affecting their reputation permanently, and to legal matters until the matters are resolved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
All right.
That's all we covered, right? Okay. Reports from selectmen. I would like to tell you,
Sit down, Sandy, please.
oh, we're getting a report? Woo-hoo!
See how much money we made. Not enough.
I would like to tell you that it is official that we are getting, the Tilton Senior Center is getting a new patio with some patio furniture from Lowe's. It's a part of a grant program, and they will supply the material, and the employees on their days off will come and do the work. And he's also asked Belknap Landscaping to advise on some things. But
Very
it's-
nice.
And we'll have a nice little 15 by 14 patio
Perfect size.
out there with some patio furniture. Nice time to have a party. So thank you, Lowe's.
Supply the party favors?
And I'm really hopeful that we're close on a grant list from Franklin Savings Bank. We had put in a grant to upgrade the electric from 100 to 200 amp up at the senior center, but she called yesterday, Dorothy Savory, and asked if we have a letter that says that the town will be fiscally, the fiscal agent for these funds. So hoping that means we're going to get it.
No,
I keep finding ways to get there, few extra minutes. Accounts payables?
did Donna leave?
No, she's coming in.
Jeannie Forrester is having an ice cream social after one of the music,
Ice cream?
ice cream social, after the music on Wednesday evening. You know, the free music that we have at the senior center?
Oh, really?
She had one at the Meredith Senior Center, worked well, that would be the best crowd. So she's having, on July 31st, she'll be there,
All righty then.
right?
Thanks for your report, Al.
I'll get some more stuff. I ain't talked yet.
Okay,
I just handed it down the line.
all righty.
Tilton Old Home Day,
It's in July
they're meeting again this
Monday.
Monday,
Yeah.
31st.
and we need to get all our calendar money in. I have some. I still have calendars for sale, too. All right. I'm going to throw this out because I'm ignorant of the fact, but I got a call the other day, and somebody asked me, do we have any type of policy or procedure or ordinance? That got my attention, ordinance. For people that mow their lawns and mow the grass out in the middle of the streets.
No.
We don't.
Just snow.
Back up. Mow the grass in the middle of the street?
No, they blow it out in the
Blow it
street.
out.
They blow it out in the street, not on their lawn.
Why?
That's littering.
No. No, it's not.
It's similar, well, okay, then what, why can't I push my snow into the street?
It's not living, because there could be garbage in the snow.
Okay,
Grass clippings.
okay, well, if I
don't
mow
think
my
snow is either. I
lawn,
don't think snow is either, but
if I mow my
I'm not gonna
lawn
argue with you.
along Route
That-
3,
that
I'm gonna
says-
tell you, if I miss something, it ends up as shrapnel in the road.
bless you. I don't think, I'm not gonna get involved in it, trust me.
There's nothing specifically that deals with grass clippings.
And they shouldn't.
Okay.
I
Just
have
saying.
been- Yeah, I was driving around the other day and I was really surprised. Someone had done their lawn, and I'm not gonna say locations or anything, but more than half the road was grass covered.
Was grass covered, right.
I think
Could that be
it's,
considered a safety
I
hazard?
traveled the same road.
On a
I think.
motorcycle, maybe.
Yeah.
I actually traveled 3 of
Snow
those
would be.
roads connecting each other.
If you put
And there
enough
was
of
3
it.
different
I think
places.
it's an exceptional
Hill Road.
year for mowing grass. So.
Yeah, the grass is growing so fast.
Maybe,
The what?
like, have something to back it up, I think.
Oh,
So the answer really is no.
we don't have
How
it.
you gonna prove the grass in the road came from that house?
Oh, yeah, you could see him
Prove it.
doing it. You could see him
Prove it.
doing it.
Yes, he was.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have you have to
movie.
match the blades to the, stop.
The person that called was very, very upset because they had just paid $12 to get their vehicle cleaned at a car wash, and was coming down the street and all of a sudden, one whole side of the vehicle was grass clippings.
Ooh,
Did you get the lawnmower?
I would have stopped and
stopped.
talked to the person that was blowing grass out in the road.
yeah,
But
I would have
It's
stopped.
amazing, because I know if I'm out there trimming or mowing and a car's coming, I stop and let them pass. Because I never know if I pick up a rock or something, I don't want to ding somebody's car.
Exactly.
But it's amazing the number of people who don't give you that courtesy. And what if it's a motorcyclist going by and you ping them with a rock?
Let's not beat them.
Yeah, you just don't know.
It would not be good.
No, it wouldn't be.
Okay. Sandy, do you have anything for us?
No, I think we pretty much talked
Donna,
about
how are you?
everything I was gonna bring up. You know about the notices, and so I'm done.
Catherine?
If I knew how to forward this to you, I would.
I'll show you.
Somebody please help her.
Well, the
That would
other
be
didn't work.
you're sitting right next to.
That's what I did to the other one.
There you go.
So how come it didn't all go? That's what I did with the other one. You only got part of it.
You lying?
This is, I sent an email out to the cleaning people about Riverfront Park. And I filled you in last week about what's going on. They still haven't, I mean, they're claiming they went and power washed the floors, but if I went over there right after they had, and there's still dirt and, leaves and pine needles and all kinds of stuff on the pavilion, and if they power washed it, they didn't get it all off. They haven't cleaned the display board like they're supposed to. The stuff is still on the toilet. I have a third picture of the stuff.
So what do you want to
It
do?
just goes on and on. So I'm just letting you know, the park commissioners are meeting first Monday in August. They've asked me to look at the other proposals we got for cleaning to see what they would charge us to do the park from here on out. This email, I had been in contact with, this is George O'Brien. Is it Matt Connor, Catherine, the other one?
What is it?
Capital Cleaners, Matt Connor.
Yes.
He is George O'Brien's immediate supervisor. Oh, there it is, Matt Collins, who indicated that he was going to be making an adjustment on the invoices. So this email is telling you they're going to credit us for 2 weeks of service. Park commissioners haven't approved any payment of invoices for this company. They sent us 3 invoices when the bathrooms weren't even open. But he's going to credit us for 2 weeks of service.
He's generous.
Sweet.
He's
So,
generous, Catherine.
I don't know what the park
Maybe
commissioner's
you
going to
should
do. but-
negotiate with him as opposed to accepting his offer.
Trust me, there'll be no accepting of his offer. But I've
was
sent it all
hoping
to the
you'd
park
say that.
commissioners, and we'll see what they have to say. I wrote some language for the motion that was made last week and withdrawn pertaining to details. I've sent it off to the chief. He wants some time to review it, so I'll have it for you next week. I can email it to you from the other computer, it's not in this one, Monday, so you guys can look at it. And we're going to discuss hawkers and peddlers, right? Okay, so that can wait. And that's all, folks. I should have a health officer's report for you next week. I started one, but I was so inundated today by, I've never had so many people coming in about health issues, and it's got to be the heat. In fact, I even had an individual from Northfield. Came across the river.
Is it hotter over there? Maybe it's
Are they going to send us a check?
No, I gave her some sage advice and put her in contact with Northfields, but, I felt so bad. She's a young girl, a young baby, cute baby, and her complaint was, this isn't first, so I'm going to share it with you. She had plants growing through her walls from the outside into her living room.
Oh, wow.
So she trimmed them. She took pictures and then she trimmed them. I was appalled. I was like, excuse me, did you say you had outside vegetation growing into your living room through the wall? And she said, yes.
You know what that means, most likely? That whole sill
It's rotted.
rotted.
Now,
Oh,
it
yeah.
must be
It
cold.
has to be.
Oh, yeah.
So I gave her
What's holding the house up?
the health officer in Northfield, who I'm sure is going to help her. And I gave her Jubert's number from the fire district, so. But that was kind of heart-rendering.
All right.
Al?
Pat?
Nice collection of money here.
All right, anyways, we have a decision on one of our cases, but he's still trying to,
Yeah?
get a better decision than what we have. And the other one that we have going up, I can say 822, I'm gonna say it anyways. That's,
Public.
I have a meeting with, the lawyer on, Monday, and Catherine's gonna sit in with me. And we'll get some sort of idea what we're gonna do with that, so. They finally went and got a lawyer, after somebody got all the information for them. Besides that, it's been busy. I think it's gonna get busier, I hope. Sign of a good economy. Somebody's doing something, someone's spending money.
Yep.
So, besides that, everything's good.
All right, Joe?
I only have one issue.
Lion.
Well, no, I have lots of issues, but we won't go there. Recycling is my whole thing. It's already on the agenda for old business. You want to wait till then, or you want to dive into this now?
We can do it.
Okay. We had first of all, the bags have been shipped from Waste Zero to the various store locations. I can't tell you that all store locations have received their bags yet, but at least Bryant Lawrence Hardware, it currently has a supply of bags, and they are currently on sale at Bryant Lawrence Hardware. Sarah Bernier from Waste Zero assures me that the bags will be in all outlets either today, by the end of business today, or sometime during the day tomorrow. I have a copy of the orders that were placed. There'll be an inventory of about 4,000 bags or thereabouts on hand in the various stores. So, there's a 2-day turnaround time. If they get a big rush, they can get more bags, and if they order them Monday, they can get them Wednesday. If they order them Thursday or Friday, depending if they're doing FedEx or whatever, they could even get them on Saturday delivery. The bags are going to be fully available for sale by the beginning of the week next week. After taking everything into account, if we went 4 weeks out, that would bring us to the week of the 19th of August. Tuesday would be the 20th. And the Recycle Committee, after discussion today with Mr. Allen and Tim and all but 2 of the members, recommend that we begin the week of August 19th, giving the residents 4 full weeks plus a few days in order to purchase their bags. I have the signs ready to go in the windows, Tilton Trash in parentheses, because that's a Pat Constantino thing. Tilton Trash, bags available here. All right? So, I haven't passed them out because I wanted to make sure they were in the stores before I gave them to anybody. Right? But as of Monday, I'll be passing those signs out. Just a little something they can stick on their windows or whatever. It's not a...
I would caution them not to put them up until we have a date for pay-as-you-throw.
Why?
Because people will start buying them and putting their trash in them
And then
before
they'll-
they have to.
And then they yell at us because they spent money because they didn't need to.
So, let's make a date for pay-as-you-throw. August 20th, 4 weeks out.
I don't want to make a date for pay-as-you-throw
Why?
until we hear from the public. We don't know
Or
how
what? We have a warrant article that says we will do pay-as-you-throw.
Does it say we'll do it on August, whatever date?
No, and it doesn't say that
We
we'll
will.
wait until 2014 either.
And we need to do due diligence to this program and iron out all the problems that weren't ironed out before we got started in this. And that's going, hopefully, we're going to get a lot of those. I mean, we get emails
August
every
1st.
day. On August 1st, those people will be in here. We're going to hear their problems, hear their concerns. And if there, for me, if there isn't anything
That we can't change.
we can't easily correct, then we can set a date. But until I hear from the public,
I'm against that. I'm for setting a date, giving them a month to buy the bags and go for it. Because that's actually, in reality, 6 weeks to get it together. I have more faith in the residents of the town of Tilton. There are going to be those, no matter what we do, who are not going to be fully informed or understand what's going on. If nothing, the last 3 years have proven that to me. And sometimes I'll talk to somebody, and they'll still say I said something different. I don't get that, but they will comply. I'm sure they'll comply. And giving them 4 weeks to get their bags and comply, we can even, I was talking with a couple of the
There was a
outlets.
grace period involved in the date.
that's
There
what
is.
we're going to implement.
If we let the bags sell for 4 weeks, we can put into the various outlets a thing right there, in addition to the sign that says, pay-as-you-throw bags will not need to be used until the week of August 19th. They can't buy they can't buy the bags without seeing the information.
Okay, the dumpsters weren't supposed to be put out every week. They're supposed to be put out every other week. You know how many dumpsters I've gone by with the tags on them?
Me too. But how do you propose to solve that?
By not
They
having
put a
the bags
tag on it.
available 6 weeks before we have pay-as-you-throw. Because I know there's going to be people out there that are going to buy those bags, and for 5 weeks, they're going to needlessly put their trash in those bags out by the side of the road.
Well, then that's just silly. That's just silliness. If it says right there where you buy the bags, we've only got a certain amount of locations, and it says right there, and they're telling them, you don't need to use this until the 19th of August,
How many places
or the
did it,
26th, whatever it is.
how many places did it say that recycling was going to be twice a week? I mean, every other week.
Everywhere. It's never said it was going to be every week.
So then I guess it's just silly that people are putting out their recycling
Yes.
bin every
We
week.
sent every resident in this town a letter that
No,
said it was
I-
going to be every other
this-
week.
I'm not going to listen to that. I'm sorry. That is the wrong analogy. It's just silly. That's
I
not an
think it is
excuse.
silly.
People are uninformed.
They are uninformed.
That's the
And judging
problem.
from the amount of emails that we've got and the amount of phone calls that we've all got, people are confused at best at the recycling. What we want to try to avoid is people not being as confused when recycling and pay-as-you-throw gets off the ground at the same time. I think that we need to at least listen to what their concerns are right now and go from there. I don't think that I'm ready to set a date tonight on recycling. Pay-as-you-throw, I think it will be soon, but I don't think that I think we'll be ready after we talk with the residents. I think this is a really important part, because these are the people that are constantly calling us, asking us questions, emailing us, and saying, listen, I don't know about this, and they're putting out their recycling this week. I can't tell you how many hundreds that I passed by today that had recycling out there, that didn't know it was every other week. Hundreds.
Even though the letters in the newspapers
Even
and the
though the letters in
website,
the newspapers did.
everything else
Well,
told
how
them
about
that
last
it's every
week?
other week.
But how about last week when we got the email and said, well, the paper said that July 8th was canceled?
Right.
The paper didn't say, well, no, Marge said that.
Marge said that. So it was canceled, and so the word on part of it said, it was canceled, and so they didn't know whether to put it out or didn't, so they put it out this week. So the people are genuinely confused over this whole issue, and I really want to set it straight with the public. And I think that's what's important right now.
We need to do our due diligence to make sure that everybody is informed. We have enough people who are extremely unhappy about the program, that are confused, as Pat said. We need to do our due diligence and make sure that everyone knows what's happening. When do you put the recycle bins out? And when do we start pay-as-you-throw?
We just this week included the businesses on recycling. Let's give it let's get them in here and see what their thoughts are as well. I mean,
We haven't resolved the issue with Main Street.
no,
They have dumpsters, but we have people down there that are like, okay, bins, what do we do with these now?
I
Where are
think,
we gonna put these? Where do we put them out for pickup?
I had that same question, but I figured it out.
It's their problem. It's like it's my problem.
I don't think delaying it makes sense. I understand your reasoning, but I still don't think delaying it makes sense.
There should have been an educational part of this before we started it.
Well, I've given half a dozen different educational talks. We've sent out letters. I put stuff on the unaffiliated Facebook page. We have all the minutes from the meetings that we've been having over this for the last over a year. We have all the tapes available on the town website. People want information. I'm thinking that they have a little bit of a obligation to get some of that information. Because aside from knocking on every door in town, how are you going to guarantee that people are going to have all the information they need to make this go?
I don't think at this
Public
point we can,
meetings.
I don't think we can, at this point, say that we can guarantee. However, at this point in time, right now, today, I can't honestly say that I've done my 100% due diligence to answering all their questions and concerns. I'd like to wait until August 1st, when the public information meeting, and do that. And then I can say safely that I have done 100% of what we need to do to get the word out. Then if there's questions and concerns after that, we'll take them one at a time.
Now that those bags are shipped, those retailers, those outlets are on 30 days. And if we delay for 30 days, the payment or their ability to sell those bags, they're going to be on the hook for the very first month's invoice. Bear that in mind.
Joe, who gave them the ship date?
I didn't give them a ship date. They told me when they were going to ship them. We ordered them, we approved the bags, they printed them, they shipped them to the outlets. And I didn't find out they were shipped until today. I sent an email to Sarah Bernier. Do not ship them until you have contacted me. I received no contact.
Well,
Tim received the contact.
we'll have to have them,
Right now, notices have to go up to say that there will be that there is not a start date, but we will notify them shortly.
We don't have a start date.
That's correct.
I know, well, we never have had a start date.
And we have to notify the people that are selling those bags. They have to let the people know that are buying those bags that there is no start date, not to use them.
Well, I'll make sure that that notice gets posted in the stores as well. What I've been telling everybody is that the bags would be available for sale, but you would not need to use them until you received notice from the town of the start date. Because they all want to know when are the bags going to be in the stores.
Well, August 1st is 2 weeks from tonight, that we're having an public informational meeting with the residents, so that's well within 30 days.
Okey dokey. I'll be in contact with the various vendors and get them to put it off.
We all okay with that?
I would
No.
contact the supplier and tell them that they'll
They're
have to,
shipped.
they'll have to hold their invoices.
Just talking to Federals. Yep.
Because they didn't contact you.
No, they did not contact me.
You told me.
As requested.
Right,
So the onus is on the shipper.
right. Because they're not letting you know that it's shipped. They let somebody else know that they're shipped. Who's the contact
It was
point?
prior to being shipped.
Who's the contact point with the company?
Tim,
Was he notified
he was notified today
that they were here?
that they were shipped and they should be in the stores today. If I have an email, I haven't looked today at my email.
So they didn't do what was asked of them, which is to notify us before, to give us a shipping date. Previous to shipping them. I'd contact the shipper.
Right. All right. That it? So we'll make a decision after August 1st. Is everybody okay with that, or no?
I am.
I'm fine with it.
I would like to set the date tonight,
Andy?
but I understand that you don't.
You don't want to wait until the 1st when we have a meeting with
I want to put it out 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
That would still give 19 days from the 1st
Yeah.
for sale and the start of the program. That would still give them 2 weeks to get used to the program before it became absolutely mandatory.
Right, yeah, I think we ought to have it at least 2 weeks before it would become mandatory. They would, pick it up, but leave a note like they talked about.
Well, that 2-week period under my plan would commence on the 19th. So it would be into September before the actual, this is it, we don't take your garbage without the bag began. If we started on the 19th of August.
That's over a month. That's plenty of time.
Well, that's what I think too, but they wanna talk to the residents that are going to come in on the 1st.
This is a discussion, and if the consensus of the board says don't wait, then we don't wait. If the consensus of the board said wait, then we wait.
I understand that.
Even if we say don't wait, we still have the 1st
That's correct.
to talk about.
Absolutely.
That's right. And then set the date at the 1st.
Right.
And then set the date.
Well, you can set the date tonight because you got a month, over a month.
All right, I think we ought to go ahead and set the date. We're going to have our meeting on the 1st. We'll put articles out.
The websites, we'll have the meeting on the 1st. If there's something earth-shattering on the 1st, at that hearing, I would be the first one to hey, I've heard plenty of stuff, Catherine. If there was some reason that I could point to that said we should delay this because town-wide, we're not ready, I'd be the one to make that motion.
And it's even more confusing because by then we've already sent out the notice, it's already in the papers, and people have already bought their bags.
Hey, I'm all
And then they're
for
going to yell
that.
at us because they haven't got the notice because it was canceled.
Just like the mistakes
Then we
we
don't
made with
cancel
the
it, huh?
bins that we didn't get enough of, and not everybody had them, but we were going to start recycling anyway.
No notice has gone in a letter format, either to residents
No.
or to Main Street, saying that pay-as-you-throw was starting such and such a date.
No.
It said you will receive a letter when pay-as-you-throw.
But he's,
That's not the discussion.
That's not the
is we
discussion.
set a date and we notify them.
And they notify
And then
'em.
August 1st, we hear something, we go, oh, no, now we're going to stop it.
right.
Now, that was a stupid statement on
We
my
should
part.
learn from our
We're not
past
going to-
mistakes. The
Yeah.
recycle bins
We're
are
not gonna have
glaring.
one. We're just gonna set
All
the
right,
date.
then let's wait till the 1st. Have our meeting.
Oh.
If nothing glaring comes out, the notices go out then.
Exactly.
It might back it up a few more weeks, but at least that way, hopefully, it's a nicer, smoother transition.
That's what's important. You are right.
Okay. All those in favor of waiting until August 1st to set the date?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain?
Abstain.
Okay. So we stay until August 1st and then we do the date. That's consensus. All right, let's move on. Joe, you got something else?
On July 3rd, the Public Works Garage was closed down. Well, apparently, Best Way, or the guy that was, Paul, he left a message on the Public Works message machine that Dennis got on Monday morning, that the bins that we were awaiting and were supposed to be delivered the following week were actually going to be delivered on Monday morning, and there wasn't anybody to distribute them. And they received 700 bins that they had to unload from the tractor-trailer truck without benefit of any kind of equipment, so it was like 100 degrees in the truck. They then went and delivered all the bins, took all the serial numbers because they didn't have the same program as the people that Bestway hired, and it did not work as advertised. The bins are all delivered. The switch-out bins, gee whiz, I got a 96 and now I want a 64. That has not entirely taken place necessarily, which still means that there are numerous bins at the Department of Public Works at such time as we ascertain how many have to be switched out. Bestway will store them, the excess for us, but I would like to commend the Public Works guys. They delivered all the bins downtown. They delivered all the bins in East Tilton. They took all the serial numbers and hooked them up with the various addresses. They then went back with littler bins for bigger bins, in some case 2 times to the same address. Well, no, that's too big. I really want the next size down. Public Works guys have went above and beyond on this. All right, so let me see here. No, there's more. Bestway has not been notified of the official change in the start time on Main Street.
They've all been, well, the downtown was notified, it was part of the letter that...
Okay, are you guys convinced that downtown is back on, ready to go back to the early time so that Dennis can call Bestway and actually make it so?
He's aware of that.
Pardon?
Dennis is aware of that.
Dennis asked me, unless he's talked to you guys this afternoon, he asked me today to make sure that we got a solid decision, because once he calls the following week, it was going to start at 6:30.
Because we told him not to call and let him know until we had notified the downtown. So he's waiting to hear back from the board now.
That's right. That's what this is about.
And
So,
I can assure you that everyone I did speak to, I told them that that was part of what we were going to be doing. It was quite plain in the letter. I don't know if you sent the note to everybody. But anyway, so, you know, and so they've all been notified. And it was all part of their letter.
so if you're ready, we can start commencing on Thursday. I will call
I say we're
Dennis.
ready, I think we're, right, Joyce? Everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll give Dennis a call. He'll do it tomorrow, and we should be good for Thursday this week.
Okay?
All right, so, there's a couple places that are going to sell single bags. Like, you want to buy one bag, especially up at that end of town. The store down here at Park and Main is going to do that. And I think down there for the 1 week timeshare condo people, they're only going to need 1 or 2 bags or whatever. Don't need 10, they only come up once a year. There's no break or extra fees involved.
Information. On it next week.
We did 10 tons of recycling the first pickup. And because we didn't get the 300 bins delivered to East Tilton until the Monday prior to the pickup, and there was still some confusion, although we had in excess of 50% of the households had their bins out on the first collection day. We anticipate, based on that pickup, that we should take in approximately 30 to 40 tons per month of recyclable materials. We did 119 tons of MSW in the month of June. So 30 to 40 tons represents 35% or thereabouts is what we're anticipating, which is not out of the realm of possibility because Concord's hit 42. They've had a few years to do it, but let me see. There is the issue of how are we going to get the bags to the various town departments? The bags will be needed by Town Hall, Department of Public Works, the Police Department, and there was some talk about, and Town Hall, but there's some talk about having Town Hall actually sell the bags. Well, looking at the procedure for them to sell the bags, it seems like between the inventorying and the cash on hand, and the accounting for this and whatever, I have to ask myself why we would be selling them at Town Hall when they're available for sale 60 feet away at Brian Lawrence Hardware. It just seems like we're setting ourselves up for headaches. Now, I don't know, I've heard various things about whether the town clerk tax collector's office would or would not be willing to sell the bags. I hesitate to...
She has indicated that she would.
I've also heard indications that that wasn't going to happen, so I don't know, but if it became a thing that came out of the selectman's office, that would just inundate the selectman's office perhaps. Might inundate the town clerk tax collector. Like I say, we're selling them 60 feet away at Brian Lawrence. Why would we do it here? Where are we going to
Because people come in here every day to register cars, dogs, pay their taxes.
We don't
come to
sell
land
any,
use.
we do not sell commodities here. There, in no other instance do we sell a commodity item.
I guess
sell
you've never bought a
licenses.
calendar. I guess you've never bought any of the other items.
No, I never have. I didn't
Christmas
realize the town,
decorations.
I didn't realize the town sold those items. Do we?
We sell what?
Rotary photo
The
camera.
Rotary
year.
the Rotary sells them.
Christmas decoration. They're sold from the town clerk's office.
It's not a
Tickets for
town,
Taste of the Trail.
it's not a town, we're selling those things.
Even
if
more
they're
reason
available
for
here.
the town to sell the bags for their
Why?
pay-as-you-throw program.
Why?
And
I think we ought to have some here for those people who come in to take care of other things. Say, oh, well,
Convenience.
while I'm here, can I
Yeah.
get some bags?
one trip.
Convenience.
Elderly people that come into town hall
60 feet
because
away,
they
but
have
they're
to,
for sale.
and then we're gonna say, no, but you
If
can
they're
buy
older
them.
people, they're not gonna walk that 60 feet.
We're supposed to make this easy.
Right.
I don't know.
What about employees? They get off work and they don't have time to run over and pick up bags. They can just buy them here and take them home with them.
Oh, yeah, good luck with this. I didn't see any scenario that this was an easy thing for the town to do when we've got them available right there.
Well, at the very least, we can try it, and if it proves to be too much, then we'll just stop doing it.
So, I hear that we want to sell them at Town Hall. Okay, then we'll sell them at Town Hall. Good enough. That means we have to set up a system for that. Who's going to do the ordering for the town? Where will they be stored? How will they be dispensed? And how will they be invoiced?
That's a conversation perhaps the liaison to town hall should have with the staff. Do you mind?
Why is that a town hall thing? Why isn't it a public works thing? Why aren't they doing it?
Well, we want them to do it as well. That was an earlier discussion.
We're all going to have separate orders, or are we going to, the town orders and then they're dispensed?
It could very well be that the town will order for the town, whether they go to Public Works or they go here, just like we order paper towels for all the departments. We
And
don't-
Catherine orders the paper towels. So who does the ordering? That's what I'm just trying to
Work it
ascertain.
out.
Well, work it
We'll
out.
have to work it out.
We need to sit down with Catherine and Cindy and discuss it. If Cindy's going to do it, then, we have to know that she's going to do it. Or if Catherine's going to do it, but I mean, we have to sit down and talk to them about it. I mean, I'm not going to just say she's going to do it or not do it. We have to sit down and talk.
Okay. Public assistance. Some people, perhaps, are not going to be able to, or will not have the wherewithal
Right.
to purchase sleeves of bags.
That's correct.
What sort of a system are we going to put in place for those people?
They can buy them at the store, those places that are going to sell them singularly.
And then there might be one, but that's all the way down at the other end of the street. Are we going to sell them singly here as a convenience to those people?
I think that should be discussed
With Heather.
with the town clerk or whoever's going to be selling them.
They have to be under lock and key, just gonna say.
And we also have to speak with Heather about it because, I don't know how she determines who gets what. I mean, but she may very well have clients who would need the help by giving them bags.
She may give us some recommendations.
Yeah. So she would have a recommendation. Because we may very well have, like, young couples that are just barely getting by with young children that are already getting assistance for their kids and stuff, that this would be one more thing that they would need assistance with. But we have no way of determining that. Only Heather could tell us.
Yeah, she'll have to determine that.
She might have, maybe we get X number of bags that would go into her office, and she would, through the process of helping different people, be able to determine who would need a bag and who wouldn't.
How would that work with her office hours? Would they be dispensed a certain amount of bags and you had to come back once a month, or?
Right, I
mean,
would assume they would.
Unless these items issues are identified and solved in short order, it just puts off the date some more.
I'm really surprised that the recycling committee didn't address this months ago.
We did.
Now, what did you come up with as far as people who can't...
That they weren't going to be sold in town hall?
We didn't think they needed to be sold in town hall.
And how many weeks ago did the selectmen say they were going to be sold in town hall?
About 6.
Yeah, about
least.
6 weeks.
At least.
I understand that.
And the recycling committee is only asking these questions now.
We didn't, that wasn't that was a recommendation. That was not a question on any level. 6 months ago, we said that we shouldn't sell them at town hall, but the town hall was added to the list. Okay, good enough. Nonetheless, I'm reporting...
We can certainly address that as time goes on to see if it's working or it's not working. I mean, that's really, it's not
I just made the recommendation, and we're selling them at town hall. So there you go. I've got no problem with
The consensus
that.
is we're going to continue to sell them at town hall?
I haven't changed my mind from
Right.
months ago.
And I wanted to know if we were going to sell single bags here for those people, and okey dokey.
I recommend we do. What does everybody else think?
I think we should have a discussion with the person who's going to be selling them first.
Yes.
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 So if it's Catherine or if it's Cindy, however it comes out...
I'll talk to
we
Cindy
can talk
Monday.
to them.
Okay. And we'll bring it up again next Thursday?
Yep.
On the agenda, Catherine?
Thank you for doing that.
Downtown compliance issues. Apparently, the bins were not taken in, and I received information that the bins were not taken in a timely manner. I don't know whether it was a protest or what, but I didn't notice them all over, like today, certainly. They had been dealt with and taken away, and I also noticed a number of them out in the back.
The recycling bins you're talking
The
about?
recycling bins. I'm curious if we have, I want to make sure that we're all on board with the health officer is the only one that can check bags that are not in compliance when the time comes.
I am.
Or the designee of that office.
Oh,
I don't think it necessarily has to be the public health officer if they have a
we are the
deputy.
health officers.
I know we do.
No,
No.
this is the Board of
We-
Health.
We are the Board of Health.
I'm the health officer.
She's
So
the
that
health
means that
officer.
any one of us can do it. Okay, that's great. I was going to suggest
Can do what?
that she be given some
Open up
help.
the trash bags.
No, you can't.
It's just the health officer.
Okay, we're right back to exactly what I was saying.
Just misunderstood the question.
All right.
I was responding to you,
Right.
so.
So, that means that if
Saying you
if the health officer had a deputy, the deputy would also be empowered to open the bags. So it wouldn't all be on one person. That's what I'm trying to ascertain. Because this has the
I've been
potential.
opening trash bags for years.
Right. And
All
it's
over
part of
town.
her- Right, it's part of her job description.
Today, I heard the number that hundreds of recycle bins were out incorrectly. I don't think that one person can check hundreds of garbage bags, potentially. It just seems like it could be a nightmare.
Best way, I already labeled them,
How are you going to find out?
and those people.
We're not talking
pulled them
about...
back in.
Okay,
Right.
hey, no problem, you bet. Let's move on.
Let's just, I mean, there's,
Let's not worry about something
Right.
that's
Yeah, let's
taking
just put
place.
it off and kick it down the road. It could be December before we do this.
Could be.
The only thing is
These are
that
issues
you're
that-
dooming this. You realize you're dooming this to failure.
no, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we
Because
are.
if this program does not operate as advertised last March, then they'll kill it.
Joe, I think you're making a mountain out of a molehill
Oh,
on
no,
this
I don't.
one.
I don't.
think what's going to happen is, if there are issues with bags, particularly if they're downtown or local around here, Catherine's going to go out there, we're going to notify Catherine, Catherine's going to go out there, find out who they are, best way's going to notify on their end of things, Dennis is going to notify on their end of things, and Catherine's going to go out there diligently every single week. It's going to get done. I don't think anything's changed from that.
Okay?
And if there's a problem, I'll report it.
Right.
I don't know why you guys are fighting getting Catherine a little help.
Because right now, I don't need any help.
No, I'm not
She's
sitting
the
here
one
today.
that's fighting the need for help.
We're not fighting.
I'm just saying it's not necessary right now.
Exactly.
When it happens, if I can't take care of it, I'm certainly going to report it to my Board of Health
Right.
and say,
Let's go there when it happens.
I also
And we'll
have-
address it.
exactly.
I have a postcard suggestion to be sent out at such time as the Board of Selectmen sees fit.
Okay?
Very basic. Town of Tilton. P-A-Y-T, pay as you throw. Begins the week of whatever.
Can we spell out pay as you throw? Because if you just say pay,
No, that's what I'm suggesting. P-A-Y-T in big letters, pay as you throw, right underneath. All right? Begins the week of December 1st. Tilton trash bags now on sale, a list of those locations, and a disclaimer, all household trash that is not recyclable goes in these bags. Period.
Simple and to the point. Perfect.
do you have an example that I can see, or no?
No, it's just blocked here, but it's like, pay as you throw, begins the week of, a list of the places, and then the disclaimer that they're only for the non-recyclable items. Put that at the bottom, right underneath the thing.
Pretty simple.
Each location, I propose, would have a copy of what is and is not recyclable, the start date, and potentially a little calendar, at least at first, that shows the pickup days for the first
Pay-as-you-throw.
quarter. Once you get the first quarter out of the way, I think people will have a much better idea. The recycle committee has put together our magnets and calendar ideas to get a calendar magnet that we would set in these locations where the bags are on sale. Grab one, no cost, grab one, put it on your fridge. First quarter or so, that would be a good prompting, perhaps. Let me see. I think that is... our next meeting is going to be August 19th. So, there you go.
Your next recycling
That's
meeting? What time?
correct. 11 a.m. here at the town hall. And that brings my
I'm going to try to
recycle-
attend one of those.
Pardon?
I said I'm going to try to attend one of those. I think you folks have really brought it to a point and that they have done an exemplary job doing that, Joe. You have worked a whole year at this, trying to get the word out, and,
Well, thank you very much, and
There
I'm
have
still
been-
going to fight for my position here, and nothing personal.
I'm not taking it personally.
Good.
You bring a whole different perspective, so, and I think
I
that's a good thing.
represent those who might not otherwise be represented.
Okay, let's talk. The arborist, you're all set, the Parks Commission is
Bob
gonna...
Hardy is
So we
sent
can
that
get
up.
back to, I can say that to the business owners downtown, that the
They should be
arborist,
receiving bids for that soon.
for the arborist
I
downtown.
suspect they'll be at their next meeting.
We have concerns from the business owners, Main Street, that the trees are kind of touching the Main Street. They're,
Well, they could be trimmed until they reach a height where they're no longer.
right. So that's kind of a background history of it. And so the Parks Commission are putting out RFPs for that, right? Is that the term? Mm-hmm. Good. All right, let's talk about our fun topic of the night, hawkers and peddlers.
I have a proposal.
Yay! You're excused, Joyce.
I have a proposal.
Okay? Is this, should we duck?
No, it's simple.
Okay.
So, I did look at, oh God, probably 30 different communities around us, and they're all over the place. There's really no real consistencies, except a lot of them have different rates, but their licenses will go for a year. So my proposal on ours is, number one, to get rid of the $20 fee that we charge for photo ID.
Right.
I wasn't in favor of that when we created this, because anyone who applies for hawkers and peddlers has to have a photo ID,
Yep.
whether it's a driver's license or whatever, but they have to have an official photo ID. So, for the cost of 23 cents apiece, we can get plastic with pins, fishing license type covers that we can give to them to say, you must put your photo ID in this and wear it at all times,
Could be your license or a picture of your license.
as long as it's an official photo ID.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Are
a...
we issuing official, I've never seen one, but official Tilton IDs?
Yes, they have to
Yeah.
go to the police department, pay $20, and they get their picture taken, just as we,
Including the sausage and pepper guy here at the outlet mall? Or is that just for the magazine
Anyone,
sellers?
anyone who gets a hawkers and
very
peddlers
similar
license from
to-
the town of Tilton is required to get a photo ID. It says right here, required, and it's $20. And for each person that's hawking on their site, they pay $20. So if they have 3 people,
They pay 3 times the amount.
that's $60.
So we're gonna go with the regular license.
So if we just let them use their photo ID, it'll cost them, well, we'll put it in our cost, but 23 cents, and that includes the low order fee, because I don't think we need more than 250. And there's no shipping and handling, so it's $57.50 for 250, and my math tells me it's 23 cents apiece.
I think that, wait a minute,
And that will fit.
we have some that I know in the next century, we're not going to use them all.
With the pins? These are little plastic sleeves.
That these
And I'll
fit
pass
in.
this around to you, but these are little
They were
plastic
downstairs.
sleeves. If anybody's ever gotten a hunting or fishing license, you fold it
Yes.
up, it goes in there, and you pin it on. And they're waterproof.
Like the thing that says Selectmen when you go to the,
No, these are, here. And that's just
I
one
don't care if
site.
we want to order those are fine, I don't really make a difference, but we do have some, but these fit in and they snap,
All the snaps?
yeah. They're
Anything,
downstairs.
if we have something and if
We
that
already
works,
have
it's
them,
great.
that saves us
But the point is
$57.
to save them the $20 and sometimes 40 or 60.
I agree. Okay.
So I'm proposing that our hawkers and peddlers is $25 a month or $100 a year. Itinerant vendors is $250 per year, expiring December 31st. And if they go for the $100 per year, that would expire on December 31st.
So, let's say a craft event that's 4 times a year, they would pay the $100 a year?
Yeah, or $25, yes. If it was different months, sure, whatever
there
works
was
for them, whatever formula.
6 times a month that it would
If it was
work?
6 times a year, if it was
$100
12
a
months
month.
out of the year, $100.
So hawkers and peddlers would now change instead of $50 a month to $100 a year.
$25 a month, so that would be, accommodate somebody who was going to come to a
Just 1 month.
or a 2, the 2 different events. It's like we have the people that come for motorcycle
For
weekend,
motorcycle
and that's
weekend.
it. So it'd cost them $25.
25 instead of 50,
Yeah, and then you have some people,
that are more than one event a year.
right, they might come to 2 or 3, but it gives them kind of a formula. It's certainly a lot cheaper than $50 a month.
I agree with everything besides the amount. I would say 15 would cover everything. A year.
I didn't hear you, Jude. I didn't hear you.
I said I agree with everything besides the amount of $25 a month, or however you want to work it out. I would have to say $15 a year for a license to allow them to come in. It more than enough covers the cost of the filing.
But does it cover the cost of the police who are supposed to be checking their IDs?
Why are they checking their IDs?
Or the
Why are
administration
they going
portion.
into Tanger Outlet? You're not supposed to be patrolling Tanger Outlet.
If we have a hawkers and peddlers any place in town, they're supposed to be checking their IDs to make sure the hawker and
I was
peddler
gonna
is in
ask the
fact...
chief how much he anticipated the enforcement would cost him,
So
but that's all I
So
care about.
just for general conversation, the police officer's gonna go in there anyways. So walking by, if he sees the ID or nobody has an ID, can,
He is supposed to drive onto any property where there is a hawkers and peddlers and check that identification.
so what's the extra cost? What are we incurring?
So
The
let's
officer driving to...
He's driving downtown anyways.
check the
Driving,
ice
he's
cream
on the
man.
other side of town.
Checks the ice cream
Now he
man.
has to go to this end of town specifically to check this ID.
But he's out
Or he has to
anyway.
go to this
He does that
to
anyway.
check this
He's out there
ID.
anyways.
Or he gets called by somebody in town that says, I had a hawkers and peddlers and they're located at such and such, and they're not watering their dogs and they're out in the hot sun.
But they're out there
And that's a
anyways.
true story.
But they're out there anyway.
No, they specifically had to go to that site
But they're out there to go to that site.
and cite that man.
They're already being paid.
On duty.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm
It's
trying
not
to
that,
find the
it's
reasonable.
not that dear to my heart, but there is a cost to the town. I'm just,
And I don't think it's more than $15. That's just my opinion.
that has to be processed by our staff, and, you
Yeah.
know, you'd say that the staff is here anyway.
I'm not
No,
quite,
no.
That's okay.
I
Al,
would
I'm
say
not-
because the staff's already here anyways.
Wait, that's what you said about the police?
Because they're already out there on duty.
anyway. But our staff is already here
do
processing
it for free then.
documents in
Let's
town.
do it for free.
I don't want to do it for free, but that's okay, it's a
I
decision
think
of the board.
I think it's reasonable to make sure that I think we have a duty to the town to make sure that we cover our costs, administrative costs, and that includes our, it doesn't include police details. Tanger already gets police details that, but hawkers and peddlers, I think that
Has to be checked to see if it's allowed in the zone that it is.
How about
Some of these communities require a site plan.
$50 a year or $25 a month?
If I'm only going to be in town one day?
$25. There's no daily pass. And this isn't Sam
be cheaper to get the
BJ's where you get
monthly
your free
for
day
them.
pass.
And I'm
We
proposing...
need to
that
register these
itinerant
people,
vendors-
we need to enforce to make sure they
different.
are registered, and I understand that, but I don't want to kill off $50 a month or $600 a year is onerous,
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
right? $50 gets them registered, make sure they're in compliance, they've got all their stuff, no, he's not here. I don't know why I keep looking back there. And the cost of spot checks for the police. And how many people are here longer than 2 months?
We're talking to people that during motorcycle weekend, we're talking about craft fairs, we're talking
They
about,
might be here 3 months, but $50 would cover it.
they
The
have
third month
4 or
free.
5 events.
That would mean that they'd pay
Get a year.
$50. They'd get a year, they cut for $10 a show, they're covered, basically.
So if they came,
Under that
The
scenario.
show is not really covering our administrative costs.
Yeah, but we don't have an administrative cost every single time there's a show.
but what
They've
if,
got a license already. We don't have to re-register them or anything.
but
That's
now
true.
if they have this license, what if they come back and, last time they were here, they were at the Outlet Mall, but this time they want to go up and say, be at Auto Serve?
They have to come in.
Do they have
They
to?
they
Even
have
under
to change the
Catherine's
location.
scenario, they would have to come in.
No.
We
No.
did that with the
We're selling
Hawk.
a year-long license under
That's
both
right.
scenarios.
If
Just different prices.
We don't have to,
Somebody comes into town and they pay $100 for a year's license, the only thing they'd have to do is notify us that their location has
location.
changed.
we did
and they
that
have
with the person
permission.
with the hot dogs
Okay.
and the
That's right.
smoking
All
barley.
right, that makes perfectly
went to
good
traffic-
sense.
they
What's
went
the
to
difference
Tractor
between
Supply.
that and if they only paid $100? They'd still have to, or $50, they'd still have to come in and tell them that the location had changed. Nothing would change except for the $100. It would now be $50.
$50 for the year.
So
$50
what
for a
you're
year.
suggesting,
Kind of a compromise between 100 and 15. I don't think 15's enough. I think 100 might be too much. I don't think 15 will cover it. I think 100 might be punitive.
so we all agree that we should have a year and a month fee in there.
I
Hooray,
agree with
We
that.
agree on something.
I agree with that.
And
Vote with
we
it.
all agree that we should take away the $20 photo.
We all ain't agree on nothing.
We all agree on that?
I didn't agree with you on this month thing. I said $15.
I think they still need to be
Well, I agree.
required to wear a photo badge, but we shouldn't necessarily have to supply it, so we
Supply it.
wouldn't have to charge them. We
Correct.
don't even have to give them the little packet. It's like, you will wear a photo
So
ID.
I'll make a motion
But
that
for
we get rid of the
23 cents, we'd
$20
make it easy
fee
for 'em.
for the ID. I'm making a motion that we get rid of the $20 fee for the ID. But
And there
they
would be no
must-
fee at
we
that point.
also, we will require them to use a photo, use a photo ID,
Legit.
legit,
Official photo ID.
official,
Can be their driver's
Display.
license.
Now, wait a minute, wait a
display
minute.
a photo ID.
How
according to
do we
the-
ascertain that it's legit? They still have to go to the police department, right?
They come in here and they give us a picture of
Right,
their...
they come in
They
here.
have to supply us with
It's
photo
part of the
ID.
application
Okay,
process.
okay, all right.
It's right in the
That's a question. I'm not trying to be argumentative that time.
That's part of the application process. So, do I hear a second on my motion?
second.
I'm not sure what it was.
To
Get rid
eliminate,
do away with the photo ID.
to eliminate the $20 fee on the photo ID,
Right.
but they have to display a photo ID during the event.
On their
Valid
person.
photo
A
ID.
valid,
What is valid and not valid?
What does our language say?
it says a state. Vendor, applicant, license, registration,
I can't they put their driver's license in the packet?
That's a valid ID.
copy of motor vehicle license or
Other
acceptable
acceptable
photo.
photo identification.
There you go.
That's the language of a motion for the ID.
Get a copy of the driver's license. I have to have valid.
No,
Right.
but she's saying they have to display it on their person.
Yes.
If we make a copy of their...
That's a requirement already.
Down and put it in a little packet. Yeah,
No, it needs to be on their person.
yeah, put it in their packet if they're wrapped into their shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
what-
going to request a card to talk.
The issued photo ID must be worn and visible by the applicant at all times, be subject to penalty or revocation of the license.
Yep.
That's what it says for,
And that would remain the same.
Right. All we're doing is not requiring them to get one of our IDs, and that they would be wearing their own acceptable ID.
are we requiring itinerant vendors as well?
Yes.
So we're
Yes,
taking the fee away from the itinerant vendors as well for the
sure,
photo
they all
ID?
have.
Okay,
they
all
all
those in
have.
favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye,
And there's a question in the audience.
okay.
I just want to stir the pot. I have a question. Come here in August when you do this, and next year you're back in May. You've got the little pocket thing. You've already got a copy of your ID. How do you know it's valid for that year?
Because they have to present it when they apply
Every year.
every year. If we go with a year license, hopefully it would expire December 31st.
It is, January to December.
So when they came back the following year, they would still have to follow the ordinance and the application process, which means they would have to show us a valid, acceptable photo ID.
But what she's saying
Stop
is,
them from just coming into town and saying, I got this last year, I'm just going to drive around and start selling.
Because they don't have a valid,
It comes in.
because they also have to have their license. And their license will have expired on December 31st.
Oh, I thought you were looking for their driver's license to be.
That's just their
That's their batch
identification.
identification.
That identifies
There's two
them
pieces to it.
as the
Who they are.
person who's applied for the license.
John Doe applies,
Both of those?
No,
Yes, here.
one has to hang up and one has, do we require them to hang that
You're a
up?
clever guy that's got this little plastic tag, and he's just gonna come back and say.
But he needs a current permit, too.
Yeah, but you have to stop him to find out.
Hence the reason the police are supposed to check
I'm just
them.
saying, you have to stop him to find out if he's got one,
Hence.
so.
And that happens now.
He's worth of business
Yes.
and then head on out.
It
It has
happens
to happen
now.
now. I mean, a guy comes in with last year's thing and tries to sell me something at my house, I will be looking to see, but most people are gonna see an ID and whatever, and it's
I
like,
had
yeah,
Pete the meat man at my house, and he was gone. And-
Pete the meat.
Yes. I was back in Belmont, but yeah, so.
perfect example.
True story. He actually put the meat in my freezer and then asked me for a check.
I would've said, thanks a lot, have a nice day.
I would have the gun waiting.
Belmont police called them up and said, you pick it up tomorrow morning with us present, or we're having the biggest barbecue.
I would've let you anyways.
That's why I'm just curious, what's to stop somebody from just having that little.
There's absolutely nothing to stop them now. We're just setting the fee for it.
It's a matter of.
The police doing their part,
Yeah.
which is to check.
And if they have any complaints whatsoever, the ice cream truck. There's an ice cream truck guy. He came through several times, no permit. They caught up to him, he paid.
Next on the agenda is what? The price of the permit. Right?
Yeah,
Monthly fee.
Madam Chairman,
She's slacking.
Yep, go ahead.
we're ready to discuss, we've got that done, the next will be the price of the permit.
Did we vote on that?
we haven't yet, no.
Voted on no $20 for a Tilton ID
Right.
That passed.
It's $50 a month, correct?
Currently.
currently.
That's my just,
Actually, it's $50.
plus the 20.
So there's a discussion on, there was a discussion on $50 or $100, but I haven't had a motion yet.
$100 a month?
No, $100
No,
a year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I would make a motion, let's go there, that we set the fee for the hawkers and peddlers license at the rate of $50 for a year or $25 per month.
Second.
Motion's been made for $25 a month or $50 for the year.
If you're gonna be here for the third month, you're covered because you bought your yearly license.
Would you amend your motion to include the expiration?
Include what?
That it would expire on December 31st?
From January 1st to December 31st.
Or is it a year from the date of issuance?
No, it should be.
I should clarify this, I should clarify my motion.
Other communities have both.
I know,
I would amend my motion to state that the licenses will run from January 1st to December 31st, a regular calendar year. So if you got your license in October and you paid $50, you get 4 months out of it.
I'll amend my second.
why do you get 4 minutes?
that's what
October, November, December, whatever it is. You wouldn't get 12 months from that time.
Right.
December 31st. If you buy your license in January, they're
You
good
buy it in
for...
July, it's good for the,
That's right.
right.
That's right. Try to keep track of whose license expires when would be a horror show.
Right.
So, December 31st and January 1st, starting and stopping.
Right.
Is there any more discussion on it?
I think that's important.
All those in favor of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay. There's 4 ayes and 1 opposed. Motion passes. And hopefully, we are done with hawkers and peddlers.
You kidding me? You guys like torturing yourselves.
Oh, no, we don't.
There is one other question that I don't know that has been addressed by this, and that was group rates.
Whom?
I think we've been generous enough in dropping our fees that we don't need group rates.
Well, I'm just saying, there was the
We've
other
cut it in
question.
half.
Yeah,
Is, do you give group rates?
Well, we've more than cut it in half.
I guess you have.
We went from $50 a month to $25 a month,
Or $50 for the year.
or
opposed to
$50 for the year.
$600 for a
You
year.
have 6 of them, what are you paying?
So, that's pretty generous.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I have a question, when will this take place?
They
Immediately.
just did.
It
Immediately.
just did.
It becomes the
About 2
law
minutes
of the
ago.
land.
Okay, so
At the
This
vote
land
of the
here, right in
motion,
this area, this land.
I'm thinking of farmer's market.
They're exempt.
we already
Until the first of the month.
we already exempted them while we were hashing this over.
You have to understand that hawkers or peddlers, people exempt from hawkers or peddlers are people that sell the fruits from their own labor. They're, like the craft fair at Tanger's, there are people
go
there
there.
that sell the fruits of their own labor. Those that do not are not exempt from this, and they have to come in, and they're aware of that.
So it's effective immediately.
Right.
Effective immediately.
Yep. Yep.
Anybody coming in today? What about somebody that's already paid
Already paid.
dollars?
They already
That's
paid.
it? Okay, but it starts today.
Right.
Yeah, from this day forward.
Correct.
Exactly.
All at once.
New hawkers and vendor
Right.
permits.
I'm looking at 7/18 is when it's running, right now. Yeah, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Hey, I'm there. All those in favor? Ew.
No, that was one.
Oh, excuse me, by the way, I understand we had 2 birthdays this week.
Where?
You two?
Where?
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday
Birthday,
to
dear
you.
Sandra and Kathy Dodge, Dawson, Drake,
Not me.
Al.
Al, happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday to you and many more. I what?
Oh, how come I couldn't?
Hey, you guys knock your lights
I want
out.
Al.
Oh, we're on camera.
I'm tweeting.
Oh,
You know what Al knows about committee.
One of these.